Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Yo-sha and I'm your go-to girl for all things real. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my afterthoughts of the last episode of Life After Lockup. This is season 3, episode 23, and I'm also going to highlight a couple things from episode 22. I didn't film a separate video because it really wasn't much that occurred. And I just felt like it would be better to combine the episodes instead of giving you all a limited amount of commentary. This will contain spoilers, so if you have not seen these episodes yet, you may want to save my video and wait until after you watch. Or if you want to have a little bit of info on what happened, feel free to watch through. The episode opens up with Amber, and she is in a hotel room getting ready because she's about to go pick up Puppy. Puppy is finally getting released. In the last episode, she'd called her and let her know she was coming home. Her mom was there. Her mom was so excited, in tears, and she shared some reservations because the last time Puppy came home, she did not stay home for long before she went back. Amber is got a great poker face. You know, you could tell that she's excited that Puppy is coming home, but she's not telling us like, oh yes, I can't wait, we're gonna get in a relationship. She seems to have the most realistic approach for handling someone coming home from prison or from jail. She's like, we'll take it a day at a time, we'll see. And I think part of that is because she's been in the shoes that Puppy is in, and she knows Puppy very well. It wasn't the same awkward energy that it was like when she came home to Vince, because she wasn't really feeling Vince. But it was just more so of being real, like knowing Puppy's personality, the type of trouble that she's been in, and just knowing that things can change. Like being together in prison is one thing, but being together outside is completely different. Now Amber, it's clear that she likes her, like she's affectionate of her, she's protective of her, she wants the best for both of them. But Amber is making it very clear that she's not trying to get mixed up in no foolishness. When Puppy comes home, Puppy is happy to see Amber. She thinks that she looks beautiful. There's definitely like attraction, and you know, Puppy is okay with them pursuing a serious relationship. It's clear. I also feel like there might have been some sort of codependency between the two of them, or more so between Puppy and Amber, because she literally says she doesn't know how she made it without her, and how Amber kind of made things easy for her, and they definitely had some sort of intimacy between the two of them. But Puppy is not necessarily ready to let go of the ways that, you know, she knows as far as scheming. So when they go out to lunch, she decides that she wants to call Vince. And let me tell you, Vince is not here for none of that, okay? She called Vince. She's like, hey, daddy. And it goes from a really, you know, like he thought like it was going to be, oh, hey, pup. You know, he didn't sound like he was annoyed to hear from her until she switched into, you got to send Amber some money. And he's like, look, forget both of y'all, respectfully. Click. So that is where we left off with them. We will see in 2 weeks where their relationship goes, if there's going to be some drama behind it. I will note that Amber was definitely okay with never speaking to Vince again, because she just doesn't like him. She feels like he's sneaky. She feels like there was something going on. And to be quite honest, she probably only went along with it because of her mom and because of Puppy, not because she was interested at all. I think that if the shoes would have been on the other feet and Puppy would have got out first, she would have slept with him. She would have did whatever because she was focused on that coin. Period. Amber is like, look, ain't no coin gonna make me be with some awkward man that I'm not feeling. Period. So now I'm gonna go ahead and move over to Malcolm and Sarah and Michael. I'm gonna start with Malcolm because that was at the beginning. Malcolm is finally leaving Sarah for the weekend. And this whole season, these last 4 or 5 episodes that we've been watching, their clips have literally been a weekend. And y'all, it has been a long weekend. They have stretched this thing out. I'm like, are y'all serious? That was all a weekend? Y'all could have definitely given us more information, unless there is no more information. You know, y'all are just like stretching it out. Y'all are trying to make it, force this to, you know, be 6 episodes when it really could have been like 2 episodes. But I digress. it definitely gave me breakup vibes. Malcolm leaves. He tells Sarah that he is just trying to figure things out and for himself and make sure that he's okay. He literally admits to her that it was a lot. Sarah is like, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. And it was a lot. You met my kids and they loved you. And, I wish that the situation with how you met Michael wouldn't have went this way. But it was just a lot. He kept popping up. She went over to the hotel. The court date situation was a lot. It was a lot of awkward energy. And you could tell that Malcolm kind of looks like he is considering not being in a relationship anymore, because it's one thing if you're really moved on from your husband, your baby daddy. It's another if you're really not, and you just kind of have me here as a placeholder, and it's okay for us to bond when he's not around and he's not doing what he's supposed to do, and I'm here to be there for you and your kids and take you out and make you feel good about yourself. But then when he comes around and he has cheated on you, mistreated you, not shown up for court, not helped you with the kids, not sending you money, not doing anything, you're dropping everything for your husband. You're still giving him the same level of respect, even though he keeps on telling you with his actions that he does not care about his responsibilities as a parent. It was a lot. And even as Malcolm was leaving, Michael pulled up again. Michael pulled up 3 times. And the thing is, for Michael to be so absent, especially when he was with Maria, when he was worried about Megan, when he was doing his own thing, and to keep on popping up on Sarah like that during this specific weekend, which I understand, he doesn't live in New York, I don't believe. He probably was there because of his daughter's birthday party, but it became too much. From the outside looking in, from the point of view from the boyfriend, it probably did look like, y'all got something else going on and I need y'all to figure it out before we can move forward. So I think he handled it with maturity and with grace, but I could tell that there was a shift in how he felt about the relationship. And I do think that part of that is Sarah's fault. Like, it's fun to blame Michael and say that he ain't no good and he's an awful father and all of that. But at the end of the day, people do what you allow. Your husband walks into your house. He doesn't knock on the door. He just shows up. He does not respect your relationship. And it is up to Sarah to make Michael do that by not allowing some of this stuff. And this is the same thing that we've all been saying. But I think if she loses the relationship, she will understand. Like, you have to really move on and set boundaries before you get into a new relationship. If you don't do that, you're going to end up turning away every good man that wants to be in a serious relationship with you, because nobody wants to deal with that. They did have this Love After Lockup mini-series. I think it's called In Between the Episodes. And this week they featured the one where Michael tells Sarah that he loves Megan and that he only married Sarah for the kids, basically. And they gave their commentary about how they felt about it. The Love After Lockup people and Michael and Sarah and Megan all got to chime in on how they felt about that episode and what was said. And Michael explains that he married Sarah because there were rules about how he could parole out if they were not married. So he said that he married Sarah for his kids, and that he did it because if he wouldn't have been able to see his daughter. I could understand that hurt, having a kid with somebody and then they tell you that they don't love you, and then you got pregnant with them again and you're married and you think that y'all are working on something and you basically waited on them for 3 years. Like, he did everybody dirty, period. He just was selfish through that. But it was a very clear understanding for why he did what he did. But now, all these years later, they're still married and I'm still not understanding why they haven't got the divorce. He is out of jail. He is paroled. He's living his best life. I feel like they should get the divorce and that they should figure out some sort of custodial agreement that gives Sarah full custody with visitation rights for Michael. Honestly, I think that would work. I think that he just doesn't like being controlled or told what to do. But at the end of the day, you don't need a custody agreement for those kids because you're not going to take care of them full time. Your efforts to get that have not been existent. So I don't understand why he's playing the games. And I will say, Michael, I feel like you don't want Sarah, but you don't want her to be happy and move on with somebody else. And that's that type of toxic energy that I really don't like. Like, you all cocky on the confessional. You keep popping up. Some of the stuff you were doing on purpose. You were literally just sleeping with some other girl. You missed your court date. You didn't need to pop up afterwards and come and mess up a good weekend for her and her boyfriend just because you're being here for the kids. As she was saying in the last episode, when he popped up and he was in the living room, and then Sarah and Michael were sitting on the bed, and, you know, her boyfriend was asking her, like, well, you know, how is this gonna be? And she was like, well, eventually I would like him to start coming and picking the girls up and leaving. You know, that would be good, because it's like you're not getting a break with this man sitting here cock blocking while they're in the living room, and he's coming in here passing you the younger baby. Like, that's not a break. But at the same time, if he hasn't proven himself trustworthy, she's probably not there where she feels like, here you go, here's the girls, I'm gonna go on a date now. Like, he's not dependable. So it's just a tough situation, and it's very new. And I mean, I'm not saying she shouldn't move on, because obviously she should. It's just a lot. Hey y'all, so the camera died as I was saying, but honestly, it just was a lot to process. Even as a viewer, it's a lot of factors to think about. So I'm not sure if the two of them are going to work out. I hope that they can figure out something, because it's not fair to either person involved to feel like you're not being prioritized in the relationship. Like, yes, she's a mom, but when it comes to your relationship, you don't want to make your partner feel like your baby daddy comes before you. You know, the kids, of course, but also I would say Malcolm is also a parent, and he probably has the experience to kind of think of how his situation went with his own child's mother. We don't know that information, but I'm just saying, like, if he remembers maybe how much history him and his child's mother may have had, and how they weren't really over each other, or how they still were involved with each other, like, that may be feeding into that insecurity as well. But it's important to be direct and to communicate about what you want, and don't be ambiguous. In some ways, I felt like he was being ambiguous when he should have been more direct. But at the same time, Sarah should have definitely initiated more boundaries so that it wouldn't be just this whole awkward love triangle type feeling. Moving along, I'm going to go ahead and go over to Andrea and Lamar situation. So Lamar had taken Priscilla to meet her sister Shantae in the park at the, not the park, at the beach. And he told her not to tell Andrea. In the last episode, before this one, she slipped up and she told Tennyson and Nala. Now, they did not tell Andrea, probably for the same reasons that Lamar didn't want Priscilla to tell. Because Andrea has basically been very negative, very unaccepting, very dramatic when it comes to Lamar and his family relationships. You've seen it with Dulo. You've seen it with his other family members. She's very judgmental. And just because she's Mormon and, you know, believes in God or whatever, it does not mean that she walks the path in the best way. You know, I'm not Mormon by any means, but I know from a Christian standpoint, you're supposed to not judge other people. You're not supposed to be, you know, cursing and fighting and acting all crazy. And Andrea does all of those things. So she kind of reminds me, even though I really like her and everything, her behavior often reminds me of that of the hypocritical Christian. Like, she thinks she's too good for certain people, but then she does certain things that it's like, girl, this is all ghetto. This is all ghetto. Like, she's always talking about how ghetto LA is and all of that, but then she does things that are ghetto. So it's like, ma'am, you gotta put that mirror on yourself. Yes, Lamar should not teach his daughter to hide things from her mom. I'm not agreeing with that. But I can say I understand why he did it. I can say I understand why the kids didn't even tell. Number one, you know, you have sisters and brothers, y'all have a code. You don't always tell mom everything. Now, if it's something dangerous, which meeting your sister is not dangerous, period. But if it's something dangerous, yes, you're going to tell your mom. But if it isn't something dangerous, sometimes you're not going to tell mom everything. But especially when your mom overreacts, Andrea is one of those people that does things to people, and when you bring it to her attention, she kind of gaslights you. She makes you feel like you're the problem and you're disrespecting her and you're not, you know, appreciating everything that she does. She never accepts the responsibility for what she does to cause some of this. Every time her husband has tried to involve her with his family, she has always made a scene, made it awkward, made it about her. When she got him out of jail, she took him, I believe, to go and see his daughter and the baby mama. And Andrea made it all about her. She was so dramatic. She was so just over the top with it. And we didn't even get to see Shantae again until season 3 right now. So I don't know what has transpired off camera between them. But if that is kind of the tone that was left, I can understand why Lamar hasn't wanted to really talk to Andrea about it, and or why Shantae may feel like, you know, you let your wife break us apart as far as rebuilding after you came home. And I just don't understand, as a woman with kids of your own, that don't have their dads, why you would want to encourage your husband not to be there for his biological child. He chose you. Now, I understand coming out of jail, you don't want to share. But y'all have been together. Y'all been married for some years now. He's chosen you. You know? Y'all are married. He's not going back to his baby mama. He's not cheating on you. He's making money. He's raising your kids. He's being there for you, and he's shown up and proven that he loves you and he's not going anywhere. It's not love because you did things for him when he was locked up. He really loves you despite your crazy. You need to love your husband back and love him enough to be open to learning his family. Because if you don't, I really think that it's going to result in a divorce. Because no one wants to feel like they're always compromising. And I'm not trying to say she didn't compromise by waiting on him. She didn't compromise by waiting on him the second time when he got locked up again. She has given a lot. I'm not saying that she hasn't. But you're not being accepting of his family, and his family is important. That's why he wasn't willing to leave and go to Utah. That's in the middle of no freaking where, and it's just not a good environment for somebody like Lamar. Like, this man would resent you if he moved there. But it's important to understand that quality time and having his family is very important. It's important for most people after they've been in jail for so long. So honestly, you know, I didn't even get into what happened, but she shows up to Dulo's house and pops up on him, causing this huge scene outside because she's mad when she finds out that Priscilla met Shantae. And they're at this pool, before she pops up, they're at this pool of this house that she's supposed to be selling. And Priscilla asked if her sister would be going because Andrea announced that she had a dream and she was inspired that they can do a family mission trip instead of Tennyson going on a mission trip by himself. Because in the last episode, Tennyson said, I'm not going on a mission trip because y'all got a lot of drama right now. Y'all can't get along. I'm not leaving my sister here with y'all to go on a mission trip. I have to protect my sister. So when she says, Andrea, when she says that she wants to do a family mission trip, Priscilla is like, can Shantae go on the mission trip? And that's how she finds out. And Andrea is very angry. She goes over to Dulo's house where her husband is, and she confronts him outside and acts a fool. And I didn't appreciate that either, because if the police would have shown up, they would have seen 2 black men and 1 black woman and locked both of them men up. Like, that is not how you handle stuff. And it's not like you found out he cheated on you. You found out he went to go see his daughter. He brought his daughter to meet her sister. You knew about the sister. It's like, come on. You need to grow up. You need to stop being selfish. You have a husband that accepted kids that were not his biological kids. You need to do the same. Period. All right, y'all. So now I'm going to move along to Destiny and Shawn. So Destiny has been at her sister's house in California. Shawn doesn't know where she is. In the last episode, he had found that she had multiple Facebook accounts, potentially had been engaged a couple of times, and now he's starting to feel like, okay, maybe I might have been getting scammed this whole time. Maybe she's not who she says she is. Finally, in this newest episode, Destiny calls him. She lets him know that she's okay. And she asks this man for money. And I'm like, y'all, when I saw that she was calling him, in my head, I was like, I wonder if she gonna ask him for some money. And when she did it, I was just like, wow. So you really only called because you want some more money. That is really, 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 really narcissistic and selfish. Like, she don't care about this man at all. I really wish that Shawn would just, like, wait it out, see if she goes to court, and then report that car stolen, cancel that card, stop letting her run all over. So Destiny has a friend come over, and it's like a girlfriend, and they're talking, and she's just making herself seem to be the victim. Like, he has this relationship with his baby mama that I really didn't know about, and I don't know, he's just not who I thought he was, and I just don't know if I want to go back to that. But at the same time, he gives me money. Like, if I call him right now, he would give me money, and da-da-da-da. Like, okay, you're basically saying that you're with him because he gives you money. He gives you jewelry. He gives you things. That's why you're with him. You get your nails done. What about him do you actually like? You don't. Like, you just don't like him. You're there because he does things for you. If he runs out of money, he's going to run out of you. Period. Anyway, she was texting some guy, and everybody's like, well, who's that? And she's like, not telling us, but she's basically talking to a guy at the same time. Now, she does order a pizza using Shawn's credit card, and Shawn calls the pizza place, and he tracks the information, like, where was this pizza delivered? So now Shawn has booked himself a flight, and he about to go do a little pop-up on her ass. So that should be very interesting for the next episode. Now we have Quaylon and Shavel. So Shavel is taking steps to move on. She calls an old friend that she always had a thing for, and he always had a thing for her, by the name of Joche. And we find out that they're both single. She's single, as she says. So he asked her out on a date, and the date goes pretty well. Like, the energy is there. They're flirting. He's like looking at her all sensually with his eyes and stuff. He's very handsome. But I noticed that Shavel was talking about Quaylon to Jay on the date. So I'm like, oh, Lord. He did ask her out on another date, and she really seemed to be glowing, and it just seemed to make her feel really good about herself. And it was refreshing to see her take that date. But honestly, y'all, I know that she still has feelings for Quaylon. And I think the preview kind of shows that she and Quaylon are going to end up talking in the next episode. So my thoughts are that she will end up giving Quaylon another chance. Quaylon, on the other hand, is with his family. I guess he picked up the job at the barbershop, and he's on the stoop talking with the guys, and he's lying. And the friends kind of seemed like they knew he wasn't being all the way honest, but they were just like encouraging him to keep telling the story. So he's basically talking about how he's talking to a young lady, and then he was also talking to Chi-Town, and that he was flirting with the girl, but nothing ever happened as far as intercourse. But then, like, the text message literally says, when can I get some more of that eggplant? And I'm just like, if you asking when can you get some more of it, then that means y'all did it. Like, how are you not intimate if you asking when can I get some more? If you already got some, then you getting some more, like, you lying. Period. Just be open, honest, say you messed up. You had sex. It's not okay, but it's the truth. Like, stop lying. The first step is to stop lying and be honest. Like, I cannot reiterate enough how much lying is almost twice as bad as actually doing it. Because it's like, if you can't admit when you did something wrong and you just gonna keep on telling stories, like, we can't rebuild. Like, if she seems like she's the type that will rebuild with you and forgive you, but Like, you got something lying. But anyway, he says he want to win Shavel back. He want to be serious. The friend's like, well, before you do that, make sure you soak those royal oats. Make sure that you know, get all that cheating and stuff out your system, because if you do get her back, you ain't gonna be able to mess up again. And that's true. Like, she doing her own thing now, but like, she should be doing her own thing because you messed up. With you, like, if you really want her back, I mean, yes, get it out your system, but you got to decide, like, do you want to sow your oats, or do you want to be in a serious relationship? I don't know, like, if it's really the fact that he wants to be in a relationship, or if he just misses the convenience of what she was doing for him. But in the next episode, they'll probably be talking, and we'll see where it goes. Honestly, I think they just both need to be real. Like, I don't want Shavel to ruin her friendship with the guy Jay with trying to move on when she's not ready. That's something that can ruin y'all friendship. If you go ahead and entertain this, like you want to move on, then Quaylon pop up in the picture, then you're going to end up losing your best friend over that, because he going to be feeling like, well, thought you said you was done. But that's pretty much it that happened in this particular episode. You know, the last episodes with Brittney and Marcelino. Marcelino was basically telling Brittney, after her deep conversation with her mom at the motel, you cannot empty your emotional bank by always giving your mom chance after chance after chance. Your mom has to really want it. You know, if she's going to keep doing these things 20 and 30 times, you're going to end up running yourself low emotionally and draining you. And, you know, where does that leave me? Because we got to raise these kids. That's kind of where we left off. In the next episode, I believe that we're going to see Brittany's mom and Brittany go to counseling and try to help her through her addiction issues. With Lindsay and Scott, Lindsay left off going through, she ends up finding that he's been sleeping with prostitutes, he's been paying for sex, he's been kind of doing his own dirt, and now she's feeling like she's gotten gypped. But honestly, I feel like he did what most people would do. Like, he kept tabs on her because she is a felon, she is a convict. He knows that he's old and she's beautiful and young. Like, he has to kind of fill you out first. And you can't really get mad for what he did before you knew him or before y'all were serious. Especially from you being in jail and you were probably talking to different people and you got a whole girlfriend at the same time. It's kind of like a double standard. So we'll get to see how that unfolds and how she handles it. And then we also have the Lacey and John and Shane. The previous episode, not this most recent one, the previous episode, John came home from jail. John is living with a friend. John explains his side of the story, and Lacey is just not it, period. She got that man locked up because she was mad because he was flirting with a stripper. Y'all went to the strip club together. He not supposed to look at the ass if y'all at the strip club? Like, come on, Lacey. Anyway, John wants to know what happened, and he wants to know if it's her that called the police. Because he was thinking it might have even been Shane. Shane wasn't even in the picture. Y'all put Shane's stuff out on the street. And you came back. So you know Shane didn't have nothing to do with it. But I think that he didn't know that she done went and got pregnant and moved on. And I don't know how that's going to go. That's going to be some drama. I think that's going to be in the next episode. But that's where we left off with that on the other episode. Because I didn't do a video like this about last week's episode because it was just kind of, it wasn't enough. Like, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna put these two episodes together. So that's kind of where we are with all the couples on the show currently. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. There will not be a video like this for me probably for another 3 weeks because the next episode will not come out until January. When they did this episode, they said that they were going to show the next one in 2 weeks. So I hope you all enjoyed my commentary, my thoughts. If you love the show, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Comment down below so we can talk about it together. Also, if you want to see sneak peeks, deleted scenes, episodes, that sort of thing, you want to make sure you subscribe to WeTV here on YouTube because they definitely show teasers of new episodes of the show, deleted scenes, different clips from people that are on the show, and it's kind of fun, especially if you're a fan. I want to say thank you very much for watching my video, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye!